like it's almost as long as the French Open final with Alcaraz
Yeah.
and Sinner over there. Talk about that! Holy smokes, what a
You must have
match.
watched that too, Brandon, eh? You must
What
have
a
been dialed if you
match.
had a
That was
chance to.
fantastic, and I got to admit,
Yeah.
I was kind of counting out Alcaraz early on there.
Oh,
because
yeah.
Sinner looked fantastic, and then he gets triple championship point, and everything flips on him. So I don't know exactly how you do. That's a tough look for Sinner,
you,
but
like,
Alcaraz is just so resilient.
man, like the endurance for those guys, like just
Yeah.
to be able to play for that long, like that's a longer drive than what it used to take me to go from Nova Scotia from my home place to my university at UPI. Like
Yeah.
that is, it's an hour and a half more to
It's
play
insane.
that game than what it is to drive for that long. Like it's just crazy to me how long they went for. Like that's a testament to how good they really are and how much of a young person sport that really is, because I don't think if it's any of the older vets, like it's going that long. I think they're probably capping out after like
Yeah.
3, I would imagine, because their bodies just aren't going to last as long as a 22-year-old and 23-year-old. So, but yeah.
Well, that's what's so great
Terrific.
about their this like rivalry that's kind of gotten going in the last couple of years is that Alcaraz and Sinner are relatively similar age compared to like when Federer and Nadal were kind of going at it. There was a bit of an age difference. Federer was a bit older, started to slow down before so we didn't really get to see those two go at it at their peak for as long as we're going to see these two guys. So it's going to be fantastic to watch in the next 10 years, like really.
Tennis looks like it's in good hands. Now, I'm not going to lie, I'm not the biggest tennis guy in the world, but let me get this straight. Sinner is ranked number 1 because he's the best player in the world, and he's so good against everyone else except for Alcaraz, right? Like he just sucks against Alcaraz.
Well, yeah, it's like a point system where depending on the tournament, because some tournaments are worth more points than others, and Alcaraz tends to win some of the larger tournaments, but Sinner's maybe more consistent over the entire season.
I think now he's got 3 majors, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Alcaraz.
Yeah, but the majors, and then there's also like ATP 1000 events, like which I believe the NBO here coming up next month in Toronto is a ATP 1000, I believe. So that's you get a share of the 1000 points available, and then the majority of the tournaments are like worth 500 points or 250 points. So like there's a little less stakes if you're winning more tournaments, but they're not the big ones. Like you can still be number 1 in the world, but you may not be viewed as the best player in the world right now. So I'm an Alcaraz guy, so I think he is, to me, the best player going right now, and it's only a matter of time, I think, until you see him again kind of retake. He's been number 1, I believe, in the past, so he'll probably end up there again in the future if he continues to win the big tournaments like that.
It does feel like it'll be going back and forth between those two for a long time. And yeah, the fact that they're such a young age is fun to watch. I started playing tennis a little bit more, and just to give context, like I'm obviously, these guys are in crazy shape, right? But even just playing around for half an hour on like a local court, I'm ready to hang it up. Like the legs are hurting, I'm exhausted. And to play for 5.5 hours, and again, caveat, they're athletic and these guys are training like crazy, but tennis is a ridiculous sport when it comes to certain fast twitch muscles that you have to have in order. And to see these guys, like if you probably look at their lower bodies, it's like William Nylander probably out there. These guys are absolute monsters.
Probably better, to be honest.
I think Nylander probably has like a guy like him, or the Crosbys, probably the definition, like the size, but the definition on Alcaraz and the Sinners of the world are probably a lot like better in that sense.
And like I'm obviously, like I said, not a tennis guy. I've never really played tennis. The closest thing I played to tennis was probably pickleball. I love badminton growing up. How much harder is to play on clay? Like, is it hard?
A lot harder because you have way less traction, and you see way more knee and hip injuries because of the inability to kind of gain a footing on the surface. So it's definitely it's more so, if you have guys like Nadal who are able to control their pacing so well, or are just so powerful that it doesn't allow guys to keep up with their play as much. It's a huge advantage if you can be strong on clay, because you can almost guarantee yourself a contender at a major every year at the French. So it's awesome.
So what's this thing? The Spanish Open, not the French Open?
That's what they're saying. Yeah, because
that's what I've
Alcaraz
seen.
because
has
they
such
keep
dominance.
these guys keep winning.
The Spanish guys keep on winning.
Rafael,
100%. I think they play a tournament in Spain leading up to the French Open that's also on a clay surface. So like I think it's just maybe it's that region they just grow up maybe playing a little bit more on those surfaces. So it's but like I said, definitely an advantage. It's like being good at links golf. You know, they're going to go to play a British Open every year. So if you're good on those type of, you know, European style courses, you're always going to have a chance to be in contention. So it's good to be a specialist, I guess. But now we're starting to see guys that are, you know, jacks of all trades and can play everywhere at such a high level. So
yeah.
No, I mean F1 had its Drive to Survive on Netflix. Breakpoint is also on Netflix. That's a really cool series, and that focuses on some of the greats in tennis. I know Kyrgios had an episode early on. He's obviously the bad boy of tennis, but I don't know if I remember seeing these top like Sinners and Alcaraz is in there. So I might have to dial in if they do have an episode neither now in the future. Cool tennis talk. You know what? I'm kind of fired up. I think we might have to incorporate that more in as the weeks go on here.